Hello all, welcome back to our course on digital accessibility. And in the previous session, we did talk about accessibility testing and the different methodologies that are utilized in the industry and how accessibility testing can augment the traditional quality analysis methodology, which is largely commonly used in the IT sector, in the IT industry. Today, we will talk a little bit in detail about accessibility testing tools and in what ways it can enable testing for the developers as well as for the quality analysis engineers. And some of it you might have already seen in the wave as well as earlier evaluation tool tutorial. But today we will talk about code level development related aspects to it, similar to how we were discussing in the previous session. So let's dive into it. So as previously discussed, the tool ecosystem, particularly, I'm sure you are all aware of like Jenkins, etc., which is your traditional testing tools, which are much lesser in number, and they are the commonly used tools across the IT industry. Accessibility testing tools may be many in number because automated tools are not able to do 100% evaluation of all the accessibility issues in your product or in your code. So it is important to understand that some part of it you can use the evaluation can be done using automated tools. Some part of it needs manual testing with respect to, say, screen readers. So say 30% coverage with automated tools. Some part of it can be done using screen readers manually. Then there can be specialized tools, particularly for color analysis, accessibility insights, etc. Then you may also want to test different browser combinations as well, along with different screen reader products and softwares, right? So basically you cannot achieve an accessible product with just automated tools. That is what we are talking about. So why tools matter in accessibility testing, right? So the challenge is that testing for accessibility manually across all success criteria is impossible, particularly if we are talking about multiple lengths of codes, many blocks of codes, a lot of elements in your website or on your product, lot of walkthroughs. Then it becomes very difficult. Lots of screens, lot of screen interaction, it becomes very difficult. And a company may also have 10 different products, right? So then it becomes very difficult. And as discussed earlier, there are around 61 WCAG 2.2 success criteria, and each one may be linked to multiple accessibility testing related test cases. And if you just plainly multiply them, it becomes a very huge number. There can be multiple assistive technologies that require testing in terms of robustness, and thousands of potential user scenarios may be there, right? So this is a huge challenge. How do we actually achieve accessibility testing, particularly when it is now mandated by law? How do we ensure that for our organization? The reality is that manual testing alone can require 40 hours per page of comprehensive coverage. So that means we are looking at either a huge team of accessibility testers who are able to do that kind of work in order to meet a shorter deadline, or with proper tools also it may be 4 to 6 hours per page. So tools don't replace the expertise, they are just amplifying it, they are adding to your productivity. So it is essential, even if you're placing yourself, you're very well aware of all the WCAG criteria, you have educated yourself about the criterions and the nuances that we spoke about in the previous session, still it may take a long time for one accessibility expert to go through all of that material and evaluate it. So how we can augment our expertise with the use of right tools, and for right tools for the right reasons, is something what we can learn in today's session. So the key insight is that tools catch the what, the technical violations primarily, and humans understand the why, user impact that violation would create. So what students or what professionals think that maybe I'll just run just one tool and fix everything. However, what actually happens is that this is not true. We cannot, particularly for accessibility, we have reiterated it, that one tool may not be sufficient. So different tool types, different kind of things it is able to catch, so or different kinds of things it is missing. So automated scanners, they are able to catch 30% of the technical violation. It is missing out on more or most of the 70% context, UX or meaning semantics related aspects, which needs user expertise, which needs knowledge about the user and requires human-centered expertise as well. Then screen readers, user experience issues, the screen reader testing may be able to catch, but it doesn't detect all the technical bugs. But because somebody has to manually run it, it may take much longer time as compared to an automated tool. Manual testing, which is like real world usability testing, it is time consuming plus subjective. You may want to incorporate participants, design a study, ask them to come and interact with your prototype. Confidentiality may be an issue and all of those things, and then that may take several hours. And user testing, again, it is where users are not small in number, but you are doing a large scale user testing, and it may take weeks, etc., and it may be very expensive to conduct those studies, and you may get slower feedback. So what automated tools are not able to catch, that is something we'll try to understand. So automated tools, say for example, it detects an image, right? So violation, it may be able to detect a technical violation, that it there is an alt text or an alt attribute missing. What it cannot evaluate is that even if there is an alt text which says image, there is no semantic meaning of that quote, what is inside that quote, then the automated tool actually till now is not able to kind of understand or semantically link what is inside the quote. So basically the word image along with the semantic value of that image. So that will actually help you understand whether it's the right alt text or not. So, but the automated tool will not detect any violation in this case. So, but is image a good alt text? Definitely not. So, this is why we cannot rely only on the automated tools. So, we have to ask all of these questions. Is it decorative? So, should it be alt equal to text? Is it a product? Should describe features? If the image is showing a chart, then you need detailed description, maybe also link to the table. Is it a link? Then you should describe the destination. Add the destination in the alt text also, if it's a clickable image. So automated tools see syntax, humans understand meaning. Another example, if we take, so for example, there is a button, and the automated tool is, you know, able to, it's able to not detect any issues, because if it is able to click, then it is a valid button. Technically, it's a valid button, right? The screen reader user may feel that what is the meaning of click here? Click here for what? Maybe. I don't know, right? Just by the term click here, I don't know. So there has to be a semantic signifier in order to facilitate accessibility. Keyboard user can't even activate with enter or space. So if there is a missing keyboard event, then it's also very frustrating for the user, for keyboard users. So tools catch what's broken, and humans catch what is broken for the users. So meet your testing arsenal, right? So the 4 pillars of accessibility testing, of course, the automated scanners. So coverage is 30% of the issues, speed is very fast, right? And cost is, some of the tools are free to use, some are, roughly $100 a month, which is not that expensive. So examples are Axe, DevTools, and Wave, Lighthouse, etc. Best for finding low hanging fruits, catching regressions. Screen reader manual testing. So around 40% of user experience issues people are able to catch with screen readers itself, which are related to alt text or missing link or buttons which don't have semantic signifiers, and all of those issues are able to be caught in a screen reader evaluation. The speed can be, depending on the expertise of the evaluator, roughly around half an hour to hour per page. And the tools, they cost very little. NVIDIA is free, but JAWS may be a little bit expensive if you're developing for an iOS. Best for understanding human experience designs. There may also be a hidden cost of human resource here, because we need an expert user, expert evaluator who knows the use of screen reader. Then we come to the specialized tools. So the coverage is very little, so like 10% or whatever, because they are only targeting specialized issues. So like a color contrast analyzer, etc., Dragon, etc. Best for deep diving into specific problems. Then manual testing, the coverage, the remaining 20%, where an evaluator is looking at the context, the logic, the flow. The speed can be several hours per page. Cost can be your time, the human resource cost to the company. Best for understanding real world usability. So if we are able to, use all of these together, then only we will be able to achieve 100% coverage for identifying accessibility and usability issues in our product. So now let us talk about the good, bad, and essential of automated scanners. So the promise that we get with an automated scanner is, run this tool and find all the accessibility. That's how they are branding it. But what they can do well is missing alt text, contrast violations, missing form labels, invalid ARIA, missing language attributes, duplicates ID, etc. It takes few seconds to run, and accuracy can be really high. False positives are usually minimal. And top 4 automated automated tools can be the Axe Dev tool, which is like the gold standard. It is also free. Wave learning tool is also free, and Lighthouse quick check built in Chrome tool, which is kind of more of a quick check tool. Then there is PA11Y automation champion. It's also free. What they cannot do is that is this text meaningful, is this heading logical, the keyboard focus in order, does the screen reader flow make sense, are dynamic updates or announced, is the content easy to understand. So this they are not able to cover, because we have, as we've discussed previously, all of these issues require human judgment and understanding of the context. How to do a screen reader test? So what we can do is maybe roughly a simulation. So maybe try to close your eyes and now use the website, right? Along with the screen reader output, you can turn that on. It's usually inbuilt on your laptop or your phone, and you can just check. So actual screen reader output, you might be hearing words, right? Clickable, button, image, link, button, image, clickable, submit, right? So, but if you're not able to receive that input and you are just listening to these words, so try to just close and imagine if I tell you button, clickable, imagine, image, link, button, image, clickable, submit. Are you able to make any sense out of it? Probably not, right? So then it becomes very difficult for the user. But what you see on the screen, sign up for the newsletter, then there is a button. Read more about our services, that is clickable. The alt text says clickable. Company logo, alt text says image. Subscribe now, contact us, featured product image, right? Clickable, learn more, submit form. Here the image, here the alt text just says. So the screen reader will only access the alt text. So if we are able to augment the alt text with this content, which is actually describing what is the role of that button or that click in the image, in the website, and what the visual signifier is also mentioning but is missing from the alt text, then it will make the lives of the users, screen reader users, very easy. So the problem is that without descriptive labels, screen readers users hear generic elements with no context at all. This is why automated tools are not enough, and they detect that just the button exists and the alt text exists. Right? The button has no meaningful label. So the most important testing tool can be a screen reader, and JAWS, which is short for Job Access with Speech. It's primarily it's a paid software, and it's also used in iOS platforms. Now it is, I think, largely we are also have voiceover, which is again inbuilt in the OS, and similarly talkback is built into Android. And NVDA is something which you can use for your Windows, which is again free. And a lot of Microsoft Office tools, etc., they also have inbuilt read aloud features and all of that. So this one, JAWS, has a good market share and is also usually an industry standard in enterprises. So probably you can use it in final production testing because it's a paid software. All the other development and quality analysis testing, a lot of the companies, they also use NVDA. It also has a decent market share of 35%, growing fast, perfect for daily testing. And our iOS and Mac testing, 70% of the iOS users, mobile testing for all iOS based applications and website, this voiceover testing is mandatory and you have to, comply with that. Similarly, for Android or mobile based testing, talkback is there. You can just enable it in your settings and try to interact with your phone, just to get an idea of how any commonly known app is built using your screen reader functionality or not. And actually, you may need to test with 2 or 3 of these in order to get a clear picture of whether or not your website is functioning well, or whether or not, because nowadays it's most of the usage is cross platforms, right? So a website people may be opening on the laptop also, they may also be opening on your phone. So when they're opening it on the phone, then this talkback is functioning. If they're opening it on the Windows or laptop, then the NVDA is functioning. So you as a developer has to check with all of those or multiple of these screen readers. Otherwise, it will not be fully, kind of analyzed. So Axe DevTools, I'm sure you are aware, if you're a developer particularly, or a student who is a CS student, it's a developer's best friend. And particularly browser DevTools, accessibility tab, run Axe, and you get instant results. What it does is it's able to detect over 50% of WCAG issues, um, shows exact code location plus copy paste fixes. It kind of suggests very easy quick fixes and explains user impact also, and very little false positives. And so how you use it, so you write the code, you run the Axe and see issues, you get the fixes, you apply and you verify and you commit. So bottom line, if you learn one tool, make it Axe. So automated testing with Axe is quite easy, and maybe this is the script that you need to include. Works with Jest, Cypress, Playwright, and all of these other pipelines. Then Wave accessibility tool, evaluation tool is something I think we have shared a tutorial earlier, and we can, share it again if needed. It's a visual learning tool primarily. So what makes it special is it shows accessibility issues directly to you on your page with color coded icons. So this is something which is also largely used by the front end designers, because it tells you where the issue is with all of these icons. So it's a lot easier to kind of pinpoint where the issue is. So the icon system, wherever it says red icons, that means errors you should fix immediately. Yellow icons are alerts, you should check and verify. Green icons are features, which are good accessibility practices, and blue icons are structural elements. The style toggle, styles on, you see beautiful design accessibility issues overlaid. Style off, you see the raw structure, that screen reader user experience. So here is the style button. If you turn it off, you will see the naked structure which the screen reader is accessing. So a real student example. So we built a beautiful contact form, ran Wave, 3 red icons appeared. Icons pointed to email field, phone field, and message field. Problem, all missing labels. Fixed time, 3 minutes required. Result, accessible form was achieved very quickly. So why students love it? Because there is zero setup time. It's a browser extension. You can very easily, it's available on your browser itself, on your Chrome. And visual feedback, it's not like a code report. So it's very user friendly in that sense, developer friendly in that sense, and it's very easy to understand. It also explains the issues. So it's students who are learning about accessibility and accessibility evaluation tools, this can be a good starting point. And also, of course, it is free to use.